My today's video is going to be on polynomial regression. We will start with a high-level overview of polynomial regression, and then we will implement a polynomial regression in Python's Scikit-Learn library. We will also do a little experiment on overfitting today. If you don't know what overfitting is, you are going to learn it today. So what polynomial regression is? It is actually built on linear regression, and it is built based on the limitation that linear regression can perform well only if there is a linear correlation between the input variables and the output variables. Something like this. But the relationship can be something like this, or something like this, or any other shape, right? Linear regression actually cannot handle this kind of shapes or any other different shapes. Let's get to a little detail about how polynomial regression work. To understand this portion, you really need to understand linear regression well. I have the video on linear regression and you will find the link in the description box below. Please check. This is the basic formula or equation of linear regression. For simplicity, I'm just taking one variable. Just check we have only one input variable and one output variable. Okay, and B and C, they are the coefficients. But in linear regression, this is the slope and this is the intercept. But for machine learning language, we actually call it coefficient, and usually we express it like this, theta 0, theta 1. We have our x, that means our input variable, and as I mentioned before, we are assuming that we have only one input variable. We have to find out these coefficients or weights, and then we have to find out the hypothesis h, which is actually our prediction, the predicted output variable. Well, but in polynomial regression, the hypothesis looks like this actually. Theta 0 plus theta 1 times x plus theta 2 times x squared. So we have only one variable, but we just transform this x with square, with cube, and makes it three variables to fit into different types of shapes. Okay, and it can be more. I am showing here up to 3, but it can be up to 4 or 5. But polynomial regression can also be root over, okay? Square root, cube root, or... So this was the high-level overview of polynomial regression. Now we are going to implement a polynomial regression in Python. Here is my implementation. So I'm going to explain it step by step, okay? So first, I'm going to import the pandas as PD, and then I have insurance.csv dataset, and I am using this pandas library to make a data frame from this dataset. And you can see if I do df.head, I get the first 5 rows of this dataset. I have these variables here: age, sex, BMI, children, smoker, region, and charges. Here, the charges is going to be our output variable or target variable. And as you can see, this is a continuous variable. This is a regression problem. Our problem today is using age, sex, BMI, children, smoker, and region, all these variables, and using them estimate or predict charges. Now, data preparation. This is very important. You will hardly ever find any data set in the real world where you don't need to prep. You have to do some sort of data preparation always. First of all, I always check for the null values. df.isNA.sum. So this will give you how many null values you have in each and individual features. Here you can see we have 0 null values in all the features. Next, you can see we have a problem here. In sex, smoker, and region, we have the string values. We need to convert them to numeric values because our machine learning models can only use numeric values. You can see I am first checking in region how many unique values we have. There are 4. And I can see for sex it's going to be only 2, male and female. For smoker it's going to be only 2, yes and no. And I'm using this replace function to convert them to numeric values. So female becomes 1, male becomes 2, and this in the smoker variable, yes becomes 1, no becomes 2, and for region, all these regions, they become 1, 2, 3, and 4. The next step is defining the input features and target variables. So if we look at this df, from the df, if we just drop or remove these charges, the rest of them are all input features, right? Because we are going to use all of them to predict charges. So all of them is going to be our input features. And if we just catch charges in the df, this is going to be our output feature, right? Our target variable. So df.drop columns equals to charges, that's our x, our input features, and the target variable simply df.charges. Now we need to split our data set because we do not want to use all the data for training. We have to keep a portion of the data to train the data set, and we will keep another portion of the data separate for the testing or evaluating the model. So for that scikit-learn library, we have the train test split method. So xtrain, xtest, ytrain, ytest equals, we call train test split method, and the parameters, we put x and y that we just defined, and test size 0.25, that means we are keeping 25% of the data for testing purpose, and random state, I'm using 1, and you can use any integer of your choice. And then I need to scale my data. What does that mean? Look, we have sometimes these children 1, 2, 3, 0, and for smokers 0, 1. Again, look at this BMI. We have 27, 33, 35. So the range of data here and range of data here are much, much different. In that case, it's a really, really good practice to bring all the features in the similar kind of range. If you do not do that, your model is not going to give any error or anything. If you check in my previous video, I have done that without scaling the data also, and it worked. But it's always good practice. In ideal case, you should do it in polynomial regression. There are other machine learning models we are going to use in the future where we don't need data scaling, but for polynomial regression, we should do it. As I mentioned, if you do not do it, you are not going to get any error, but you should do it for a better model. So we are going to use standard scalar here. So from Sklearn.preprocessing, I'm going to import standard scalar. Then I am calling the standard scalar and save it in the variable scalar. For the training data, I am doing scalar.fit transform because I need to fit the data in the standard scalar and then transform the training data to it. And for test data, I am only going to transform, I am not going to fit it. The reason is standard scalar is going to compute the mean and standard deviation of the data. We only want to compute standard deviation and mean for the training data. We do not want, and we will use the same values of standard deviation and mean to transform the X test or test data as well, because we don't want to give any information about test data to the model. The test data should be totally separate, totally unseen to the model. Okay? Now the model development. Polynomial regression is based on linear regression, so we will need linear regression. So first, I'm going to import linear regression. I'm saving this linear regression method in lin variable, and then I will need polynomial features method, and I'm importing it from Sklearn preprocessing, and I'm saving this polynomial features method in this variable poly, and I'm using degree 6. We need to transform our xtrain and xtest both to this poly. As we did in the scaling, we will also do the same thing here. For training data, I will fit transform, and for testing data, I will only transform and not fit. And this poly, we need to fit our training data. So x poly train, that our final transformed input features, and our y train. Finally, we will use this linear regression for the final model training. So I'm going to fit this data that already fit in the poly. I'm fitting this again in the linear regression model. Well, model training is done. Now prediction. So for prediction, I only need X test poly, the final transformed input features for the testing data. Okay, so this is how we are going to predict, and then let's evaluate. So for evaluation, you can use several methods. I'm going to use mean absolute error, and I am importing that from Sklearn metrics and mean absolute error y-test. This is the true value y-test, original value from the dataset, and this is y prediction that we got from the model, right? We have to pass this two, and you can see our mean absolute error. This is pretty big. Now I want to see how big the error comes from the training data. So I am predicting the label for input features of the training data x polytrain as well. And then I'm calculating mean absolute error for y-train. That's the true label for the training data, and y-pred train, that is the prediction for the training data. And you can see it's 1970, it's really small. And for the testing data, it's too big. So this is what we call overfitting. So what happens here, we used polynomial features degree 6. Our model learned the training data really well. When your model learns your training data too well, it actually does not understand or cannot predict well for the unknown data, for the general data. Look at this image. So when our model learns the training data too well, what happens? It feeds the training data so well, like this. You can see that. And when it gets a new data, it just doesn't understand the new data and it doesn't predict well. So we do not want our model to feed the training data this precisely. We want it to just go in the middle somewhere so that it can estimate close enough, but it doesn't have to feed on the dot. But again, there is underfitting. We don't want too bad fitting either. But here we have an overfitting problem. So what we do in this case, we just change the parameter. Here is the solution. Look, the polynomial features, before we used degree 6, now I'm using degree 3. So I'm putting the lower value to the degree. And then again, I am fitting and transforming the xtrain scalar and transforming the xtest scalar. Then we feed the training data to the this polynomial features. I call the linear regression again, and finally I fit x polytrain, the transformed from the polynomial features, and y train to the linear regression. So first I check with x test poly, I predict, and then mean absolute error, I give y test, the true label for the test data and the prediction that we just calculated here. And then here I get the mean absolute error is 2819. And for training data, I get 2818. They're pretty close. So that's what we want. The error for the training data and testing data should be close. Error for test data is not going to be too high and compared to error for training data. If you didn't know what overfitting is, today you learned something new, and I hope this video was useful for you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.